You're watching Texas Silver. I appreciate everyone being here. Before we get into this, I just want to remind everyone that I am going to be interviewing Bill Holter in 2.5 weeks. If you don't know who Bill Holter is, Google him, look him up on YouTube. He probably has 1,000 interviews on there. The last time that JB, Matt were here, we did Matt from Ox Talks and JB from Jeremiah Babe. If you're not familiar with those channels, go check them out. But they came to Texas and we interviewed Bill Holter. Since then, Bill and I have become close friends. But I couldn't believe down in the comments, some people didn't know who Bill Holter was. And I was just like, wow, y'all must be living under a rock. But anyways, look up Bill Holter. Very intelligent guy, very awake. Probably one of the most knowledgeable guys when it comes to gold and silver. And he's a straight shooter, and I'm looking forward to this interview. I think it's going to be a good one. Anyways, Bill and I were having dinner last night, and I thought this was pretty funny. I read him one of the comments from one of my videos I dropped a couple days ago, mentioning that I was going to interview Bill. And the name was Father Duck 80 in the comments, stated that he talked to Bill on a weekly basis. And so I read the message to Bill, and he's like, I do not know who Father Duck 80 is. So he said, respond to it and tell him Bill doesn't know who that is. So I responded, and it was funny because about 25-30 minutes later, Bill gets Bill gets a call, and lo and behold, it's Father Duck 80. So Bill and I got a pretty good laugh out of it. I guess normally this gentleman and him communicate through email, but got a good laugh about that. Apparently, Father Duck 80 is a former Marine. I appreciate the support and for you being here, Semper Fi, Devil Dog. But I just thought that was funny. Bill and I got a pretty good laugh out of that. But I will be interviewing Bill, so put down in the comments any questions that you want me to ask, and maybe your question will be one of the ones that I ask him when I do that interview. So let's go ahead and get into what I want to talk about. And just know that, ladies, I am going to address this with the men as well. So this isn't an attack on you. This is just observations that I'm seeing as a single guy. I've been in the dating world for a little bit, and there kind of seems to be a common theme amongst women. Obviously, I'm not dating dudes, so I don't know what's going on that. But I'm gonna address the men in this as well. So I'm probably gonna ruffle some feathers. I'm probably gonna upset some people. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. I think this needs to be brought up, and I think you need to see this perspective, both the men and the women. And also, before I start talking about this, just know that I'm not a perfect father. I guess some people didn't know because this was in the comments as well. But my kiddos, their mother and I are separated. Well, not separated, we're divorced. We've been divorced a number of years. But she and I have a good relationship. She's a good mother, and I try and be as good of a father as I can, good role model, and involved as much as I can in my kids' lives. I do have a full plate. I work a lot, but I'm involved as much as I can in my kiddos' lives. So just know I'm not perfect. I'm not trying to beat anyone up, but this is just stuff that I've noticed, and I think this is important to be addressed. But I'm going to start with the moms. So just wait, ladies. The men are going to get they're going to get beat up too. But the common thing that I'm seeing is a lot of women are babying their sons, and this is so horrible, ladies. And I get it. A lot of the men aren't involved. And again, we're going to address that. But what I've noticed is that these women want to cuddle and hover and protect their sons and baby them. And that's not healthy for them. I think that's why there's so many weak men, so many weak young men that are being raised. So I'll give you an example. So I know this single mother personally. And what happened was her son is being bullied at school. I guess he got beat up pretty bad. I think he got a concussion and all that. So her solution was to take him out of public school and homeschool him. So I don't understand why she is sheltering him from that situation, in her mind, I guess she feels she's protecting him by taking him from that situation. But the kid hasn't learned anything. How about putting him in boxing or jiu-jitsu or karate, teaching him how to ground fight, how to defend himself? But instead of doing that to fix the problem, her solution is to hide him from the situation. Well, this is the thing. She's not going to be able to protect him and hide him forever. Eventually, he's going to become an adult, and all this is going to carry into his adulthood. So you have these women that feel they're protecting their sons, and they're not. They're enabling him to run from problems, hide from problems, instead of standing up and defending himself and, standing up for others. Because once he learns these skills, then he could always help out his siblings or his friends or whatever at school. But her solution, instead of empowering him to be able to take care of himself, is to hide him. So now he's going to be taken out of school, and he's not going to be around kids his own age. He's going to become possibly socially awkward and not know how to interact with kids his own age, and in the future when this happens to him. And more than likely, he's going to have another situation in life where he's going to be bullied, and he's not going to know how to deal with it, because mom has protected him his whole life. And that is not the answer. I think she is setting him up for failure, and that is just, it's not fair to the kid. And so, ladies, if you have something like that going on, I don't feel the solution is to try and shelter your kid. Put them in boxing, put them in karate, judo, jiu-jitsu, whatever, and teach them how to defend themselves and stand up for themselves. Be good. She is going to be raising a weak son. She's not going to be raising a man. And that's probably what's going on with all these, I call them, I guess I say men running around thinking that they're women. So you're not doing any service by protecting and babying and coddling your kids. Both my son and my daughter, I'm very tough on them. And, if they're struggling with something, I tell them, figure it out. I'm there, if they really need me. But it seems like, parents are, like my kids, they'll make their own food and stuff like that. Like, I'm not sitting there, my kids are almost teenagers, and, I'll make them food here and there. But for the most part, they're making their own food. And, you need to teach your kids how to take care of themselves. So for me, a successful parent, I feel that, for me, I've raised a self-sufficient adult, a productive member of society. That for me, that's a win. That's what I'm trying to do. So by helping your kids and babying them, you're not helping them. You're actually hindering them. You're enabling them to not be able to take care of themselves, they're going to be taken advantage of, not be able to, function in society because they've been sheltered this whole time. So I'll give you another example. I had a friend of mine, she brought over her son. Her son, I think, was 13 years old, and mom was taking the fish off the hook. Are you kidding me? The kid was too scared, was crying about taking a perch off the hook. He wanted to fish, but he was too scared to take the fish off the hook, and mom was taking the fish off the hook. And I told her, I was like, stop, make him do it. Well, by the end of the day, guess who was taking the fish off the hook? So that's my point. My son has been taking fish off the hook since he was probably 3 or 4 years old, because I didn't baby him. I just said, hey, you're big enough to catch the fish, then you're big enough to get it off the hook. So those are just some examples. But ladies, you got to let your boys be boys. You're not helping them by sheltering them and all that. Now, on to the men. Men, that being said, okay, a woman her role is not to teach your son how to be a man. It is your job. So if you're not in your son's lives or your kids' lives for that matter, shame on you. And obviously, you know, the role of the mother and the father in the family unit, obviously a father's role with a daughter and a mother's role with a daughter, and then father's role with a son and father's role with a daughter are obviously, different. But that's what's going on. There's all these single women that are forced to raise these kids. Men, if you have kids and you are not involved, shame on you. You need to step it up and be involved in your kids' lives. Now, I understand, the legal system, the justice system, whatever you want to call it when it comes to child custody and all that, stuff happens. But if you are able to, you need to be involved in your son's life. It is your job to teach him how to treat women, how to be a man, how to hunt, how to survive in the wilderness, how to build a fire, how to clean an animal, how to catch a fish, how to shoot a gun, how to defend himself and his family, how to lead his family. So again, step up, man, because it's not just the women that are to blame in this. It is your job to step up and be the man and lead your family, whether y'all are together or not. My kid's mother and I are not together, but I still lead. I show them how to lead, and they get discipline and they get love, and they're taught all these skills, and obviously they get stuff from their mother, and we're still a united front. So you need to drop all the fighting if you can. Be the bigger person and do it for your kids. But men, you need to step it up. And I think that's also another problem with this country and the kids. And that's why we're raising weak men, because the men are not involved in their kids' lives. Okay, so I'm going to be done with that. I'm going to get off my high horse on that. I'm going to go on to another question that I got. So actually this was an email, and it was a lady. I don't know that I completely understand her situation, but pretty much there's no men in her household or whatever, I guess, that are able to protect and defend the family, her. So the question was, what should I do? Where should I go? And, I told her, I've only pretty much lived in Texas. Obviously, I was in the Marines and I traveled around to different places, but actually living, pretty much Texas is where I've grown up. And, Texas is a great state, but obviously it has its issues just like all the other states. And so my reply to her was, one, if you're in the city, you need to get out. You need to, if you're able to, and all that, get a firearm. This thing right here is your equalizer. So get the training and get these tools and learn how to use them. Learn how to use them in a stressful situation. There's one thing just going to the range and doing static, shooting at paper. Paper doesn't shoot back. So you need to get out there and learn how to use these tools under stress, and learn how to use them while moving and, in different awkward positions, around barriers, all those different things. You need to, this tool right here needs to be an extension of yourself. But obviously get educated, learn how to safely operate and own them and take care of them. And it's just, they're another tool. And so I told her, get out of the city and get some sort of protection. And I'm frankly tired of people giving excuses. If you're on this channel and you believe, as I believe, that something big is coming, if you're staying in the city, shame on you, or you know what, you're gonna get, what's coming to you. So, I'm about an hour outside the city limits. I wish I was further, but at least I'm not in the city limits. And this is a lifestyle. This was a choice for me to come out here. And living out here is not the easiest. It's peaceful, it's quiet. There's parts of it that I love, but there's inconveniences to it. I can't just jump in my truck and drive 2 minutes and I'm at a Home Depot or Lowe's, or I'm at a grocery store. Like this was a choice that I had to make, and you're going to have to make sacrifices. So if you continue to stay in the city, then shame on you. I commute an hour every day. So, I know people are going to say, well, my job, I can't go. Well, you know what? That's if, what's your life worth? What is your family's life worth? So make the sacrifices. I think the next year or two, there's no way that we're not getting through those times without something major breaking. I think it's going to be this year. If it's not this year, for sure next year. I would be shocked if there's not a major event, if not major events, just with everything that's happening with the economy, with the global financial system. Something's got to break. And when it breaks, there's going to be social unrest, and the last place you want to be is in the inner city. I think if you're in the inner city, it's going to be a death trap, and your likelihood of survival is going to be greatly diminished. So make the sacrifices, get your family out of the cities. If not, that's on you, and shame on you for not taking action. And when you're in these other blue states that are not friendly when it comes to the Second Amendment and all that, you might want to look at going to greener pastures. Go to places that are gun friendly. So. Oh, let's see. Yeah, the more rural, the better. So I'm an hour outside the city limits, but I wish I was 3 or 4. But at least I'm not in a major metropolitan area. So just know, my opinion, you're running out of time, and it's by the time all this happens, it'll be too late. You're not going to be able to get out of the cities. My opinion. I lived through Rita and Katrina, and at the time I lived in Houston, and that was one major city that was evacuating, and literally the highways became a roadblock. People ran out of gas, and the highways became a parking lot. And so just imagine if nationwide millions, hundreds of millions, thousands of millions, whatever, people are leaving these cities. It's going to be chaos. You're going to be stuck, and the only way you're going to get out is probably on foot. So the best thing, in my opinion, is to get out now. Another topic I wanted to hit. No one can do this by themselves. And Bill is in my circle now, and I have a small group of friends, and each friend, they bring a lot of stuff to the table, but for the most part, each person brings one major skill to the table. So like me, my thing is security. There's no way that I'm going to know everything. I know basic life-saving, I know how to put on a tourniquet. I know how to do a pressure dressing. I know how to do basic first aid, but obviously I don't know how to do an IV. I don't know, certain things. So you want to have someone in your group that is maybe a nurse or a doctor. You need different people with different skills, because no one can do everything themselves. Also, at some point, I'm going to have to sleep. So you need a group. Doing this by yourself, I think you're a fool if you think that you're going to be able to do the lone man thing. So the lone wolf thing. You need to have a network. You need to have friends that have skills, people that you can trust. You should have everyone already vetted by now. But also that means that you need to bring a skill to the table. So, again, my thing is security, but also I have background in a bunch of other things. But the more skills, the more stuff you can bring to the table, that stuff that you can use to barter and trade with. Think about it, if down the road, when all this goes down, think how much someone would pay for my skills to protect them and their family. It would be priceless. So think of what you bring to the table, and if you don't bring a good skill to the table, maybe you need to learn a skill that's going to be viable when the power goes out, when there's no food or water, when the monetary system goes down, and there's. Well, sorry about that. My camera restarted, so hopefully that got recorded. But just make yourself an asset. That's, it's not all about just collecting assets. You yourself are an asset. Another thing that I hear here and there, that someone's plan is they're just going to go around and take everyone else's stuff. Guys, that is a piss poor plan. You may think that you have all these skills, that you're going to be able to go around and use these tools to take stuff from other people. And you know what? Shame on you for not preparing. But eventually you're going to run into someone that has a bigger gun, that has the jump on you, or is more skilled or whatever, and you're going to lose your life. And you know what? I don't feel sorry for you. So failing to plan is not a plan. Planning to go around and add to the problem is not cool. So you need to be getting your own food, your own water, your own preparations, your own metal, because if you come around someone like me, you're going to lose your life, and I'm not going to feel sorry for you. So another thing that, and actually I'm going to go back to the same one that was hiding her kid from life. She watches his channel. She watches JB's channel. So she obviously, I guess, somewhat believes all this. And, she was like, do you really think this is going to happen? And I told her, yes, absolutely. And she's making no effort to try and better herself, to get the skills how to use this. She was living in an apartment downtown, and there were multiple situations where she might have actually needed to use one of these at one point, but she refused to educate herself. And I told her, I said, I don't think you even fathom what is coming and how bad it's going to get. And she just is choosing to put her head in the sand. That is, hope is not a plan. You need to take action and learn these skills and start putting back all these items that you need if stuff goes south. And you know what? If I don't ever need this stuff, that's fine. It'll get passed on my kids, or I got a bunch of cool toys that I can enjoy and do other stuff with. But I just the way everything's going, history doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes. And we're headed the way of all these other empires that have failed. And unfortunately, I think the U.S. empire is going to fail, and it's going to be sooner than later. So please, if you're watching this channel, you obviously believe that, or notice that things aren't right. Take action. This is not the time just to watch these videos. You need to act. You need to walk the walk. And again, I am not perfect. There's still holes in my preps. There's so many skills and stuff that I need to work on that I could be better with. But do the best that you can, and just keep doing something. Sitting still is not the way to do it, or put your head in the sand. Okay. Before this video gets too long, I'm going to end it at that. I appreciate everyone being here, for all the support, the likes, sharing the videos, subscribing, and please hit the bell notification and check to make sure that you still are subscribed. I'm going to end it there. God bless everyone. Y'all stay safe out there, and until the next one, Texas Silver out.